Changing You, A Guide to Body Changes and Sexuality by Dr. Gail Saltz, illustrated by Lynn Averill Kravitz. This book is suggested for both boys and girls ages 6 to 8 or from 1st to 3rd grade. Changing You has the answers to many of the questions that kids may find themselves asking. Dr. Saltz navigates children through changes that come with puberty, including body changes, sexual intercourse, the menstrual cycle, how an egg and sperm come together to create a baby, and just sexuality in general. This book is meant to be read by the child, but is to be used as a tool to guide the parent and the child through important conversations about sex and growing up. If the parent is hesitant to bring up the subject, the child can simply read the book, and hopefully a conversation with the parent will be more easily initiated afterwards. The author uses a lot of humor and language that is easy for a child to understand. The illustrations in this book are quite funny, yet still very informational. Almost all of the reviews for Changing You were positive reviews. I really couldn't find one that was horrible. They all seem to reveal that society deems it appropriate and necessary to inform children about their sexuality and what growing up is truly about. People seem to appreciate the honest and age-appropriate approach to questions about sex and anatomy. The following review is the most negative review that I could find. Sheila McDonald's review says, I bought this book for my 9.5-year-old daughter. I was very surprised to discover that the Note for Parents page is the first page of the book, and the reverse of that page is the first page you would want your child to see. The publisher should have printed the note for the parents on a page by itself, preferably perforated, so it could easily be removed from the book if a parent so chose. I thought about trying to black it out with a marker, but I'm afraid it will bleed through the page and ruin what should actually be the first page of the story. As of now, I am undecided about giving her the book. I have to say that I actually agree with Sheila. I think that the note to parents should be able to be removed from the story. It's a little weird that it's at the very beginning of the book and that the kids can see it too. Educating Rita posted a nice review about this book. She said, when my children, ages 5 and 8, first asked, how do babies get into your belly? I knew I needed a book that would help me explain. So I went to the library and got this book, which was brilliant. It's illustrated in a way that isn't scary or upsetting, and is written for a younger child to comprehend. I finally had to buy this book because my kids would ask more and more questions, all of which were answered in this book. I highly recommend it because it also tells children to never let another child or adult touch your privates without your permission. The review from Maureen was great. She says, this book was perfect, just the facts in clear, easy-to-understand language. Cartoon drawings help tell the story without being inappropriate. A great way to explain what happens to both sexes as puberty sets in. A good introduction for parents to address the emotions and appropriate responses that go with the biological changes. Highly recommend this book. This is an example of what the pictures in the book look like. As you can see, they're very informational and accurate, but the illustrations are still appropriate for a younger child to see. This is my favorite page. As you can see, the author still gets her point across and uses correct information, but she does it in a way that children can understand. For example, she says, some mornings it's not just the sun that rises. Here's another illustration that just shows how the facts are presented in a way that is appropriate for younger children to see and understand. I think the way that the author describes sexual intercourse is very age appropriate. She says, when a man and a woman love each other and decide that they want to have a child, they will do something called sexual intercourse or having sex. This is when the man lies very close to the woman and puts his erect penis inside her vagina. It feels good for both the man and the woman. They will also hug and kiss and cuddle. This is a very special way of expressing how much they love each other. I simply think the illustrations on this page are really funny. Overall, I definitely recommend this book. I really enjoy the lighthearted approach to such a serious topic. I think the author addresses many of the questions that kiddos may wonder about and opens the door for additional conversations between parents and their children.